What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan. I'm BMX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have our market analysis for the Digimon TCG like we do every Friday. We're here to bring you the Digimon card market prices to talk about how the market's going, what's going on with tournaments, how that's affecting prices, and all that other fun stuff. And we're starting it off with some promo data, looking at Time Stranger again, because it is kind of the thing that's right in front of us right now. It's the thing that people are excited about. We're looking forward to BT23 in the next year, and how these cards might be really important going forward for that set. We're going to start getting BT24 reveals right after they're done revealing all of the starter deck that's coming out in December. So we're going to start seeing that stuff, which is so probably like in a couple weeks, and that'll start to get hype, and as well as the abilities will dictate the prices of those cards. So we're gonna get into it right now. And hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. All right, so while we're looking at it here, we got still feeling a little bit under the weather, guys, so try not to cough, but it is what it is. Still looking like Patamon is the undisputed winner of this set. $12 and stuff like that, and it's the one that continues to go up. Digimon is cheaper because it has the demo deck version, which to me is weird because this is a nicer foil version of the card, but whatever. You got your Tamer down to like $5. You got Inori down to $4 to $6. Demi Debbie's at $9. Kanan Yuki, which was like 16, is now like $9. So we made some good money on our copies of those. And then you got the limited edition Time Stranger cards they're on TCG now. So you got Grace Novamon, but they've all dropped. They were all like $200. I figured Grace Nova and Digimon would have the biggest drops. AGO's down to 60, which is pretty close to what I got. I think I got 50 for mine. I only got 60 for the rest of the guys, but this isn't a far cry, and it depends if people are actually buying. Market price is $125 for Grace Nova. I find if people are having trouble finding them, they will buy on TCG. That's just it. And we're also see like 170 and 169 for these with 5 listings and no market price, so they have not sold. So these will come down even further. I feel pretty good about the prices I got for mine. And if somebody gets more, all power to you. I'm glad you were able to find someone who was willing to pay that much. I'd rather have the money right now. And if they want a Ryuji, let me know. But yeah, so prices on all these promos are definitely going down. And yeah, Gomamon is very, very cheap. Next thing we're looking at is the special event pack. You can see that a lot of these cards are very, very cheap. We're still getting packs in some regionals. The best one's, of course, Shadramon, which came down way, from like $60, $60-$80 down to 25. It did go down to 20, but back up to 25 because now packs are harder to get. So I definitely think that these are very good packs, and they have some value. I mean, I pulled a bunch of protoforms, although they're hard to trade because nobody's looking for protoforms right now. It could change if we get a deck that makes really good use of protoform in it. I think these would be good sales. And then of course Analog Youth, we know why that's so cheap because of the other box topper version of it. But then Rivals, everything else is like very, very cheap, under $5. So I mean, it's these 3 cards are the ones that you're hoping to get. Everything else doesn't really register, unfortunately. Starting out with our individual cards, we're looking at Hudimon, obviously, because Hudimon is set to be the best deck of the format. And it's actually gone down a little bit. You can actually see here it's dropping slowly. We haven't had much good tournament data. We haven't been able to do a market analysis, like an actual like regionals market or not market analysis, sorry, meta deck discussion, regionals meta deck discussion. So I think that's why it's cooling off. People are waiting to see, okay, is this actually going to be the best deck? Is this going to take like a quarter to half of all the tournament scenes? Or is it going, are we going to see like a lot of old things like Magidra and Gallant show up? So like people are waiting to really see how this defines the meta. So people are cooling their jets off on it. So you're seeing a bit of a price drop here. If this takes over half the spots, I guarantee this jumps up about $10 to $15, $20. So right now, if you're looking for these, might be a good time to buy. I think it's going to take at least a quarter, maybe not half. I'm maybe not on the new Mimon. This isn't the new Mimon train, but I would say I could guarantee that it's probably going to take at least half the spots. So yeah, not too bad. $50 for an alt secret. That's not terrible. And I mean, if you look at the regular, it's $25. It's not terrible, honestly, for a secret. There's been way cheaper secrets, but they're all garbage. Pyildramon, which is a card still really good this day. Pyildramon's still a strong choice. It still does very well at tournaments. It's a harder deck to pilot with the hits that it's had and just the amount of time with not really a lot of new support. But there's amazing cards like this in the deck, and this is actually something that Hudie players are actually trying out, is one of this, because you can DNA into Pyildramon and stun your opponent, which can actually be really good. And you have barrier and heritable with a lot of the time, so you can, it's like pseudo jamming basically almost, so you can swing twice. So this is an interesting choice that people play in it, and you can see like it is jumped way back up in price. Most recent sale 71. It's harder to find because BT16 is getting older. 95 is the cheapest copy. And it could go over $100 depending on how many people play the Hudie variant where you play one of these. And then we look at another DNA. Actually, before we do that, we're going to go back and look at the super rare price, because the super rare price is still intense. You're looking at lowest listing 32, market price 37. That's pretty intense for a super rare. That makes buying a box of BT16 probably at a reduced price that you could probably get them for now. Pretty good idea, just for a chance at pulling that and that. And then you got Dino Beam on there as our next, DNA Digivolve, the kind of the night today of Pyildramon, because Virus Imperial is still really good. Like, I got wrecked by Virus Imperial it's my Jesmon deck in the Ultimate Cup this last weekend, last weekend. And it was a hard matchup, because all he had to do is have enough cards to go off, and like he doesn't need to even have enough memory. He just has to have the cards, because you just go into my memory gauge and keep doing stuff. So yeah, it's interesting, how that all works and stuff like that. And so this one's not as expensive. It's actually trending down. It's still pretty, $40, but it is trending down from, up around 65, going down, $40, $42. Lowest copy on the market's 37. And it's starting to cool off, because this is still a harder deck to pilot than Imperialdramon, than Hoodiemon. And I mean, it doesn't have the win rate that those two decks have. Still a fantastic deck. And then the Shadramons too. You need either promo Shadramon or the foil Shadramon, which are just harder to get cards, and you need 4 of them. Plus you need 4 of this and a bunch of other stuff, but that's beside the point. So not as not as impressive as Pyildramon, but still doing pretty good. So sell or buy wise, this card's kind of in that spot where it's like, okay, maybe this was worth buying, maybe I want to wait, or maybe I want to sell. It's a good card to sell always. And of course, another DNA Digivolution deck, Shakuamon. Shakuamon, with the new Shakuamon, this card I think has become a little bit more popular in its own variant of Hoodiemon. We're actually seeing not seeing much for data, but I mean $20 most recent sale, market price 25 is actually pretty good for a card that hasn't seen play in a while. It's a really cool card, and I played the Shakuamon deck back in BT16. It was really fun. I played the OTK version where you could OTK with the right amount of cards in hand, but of course you're drawing a lot, so there was times you could actually make that happen. We got lots of copies on the market, but 25 is a pretty good price for something like this. It could be a lot lower, and I think we're seeing this price because of, again, it seems like there's a lot of decks spitting out a lot of level 4s for free, and that always says, let's DNA Digivolve. And then, of course, the OG DNA Digivolve is Chimeramon, because it's colorless. This card's getting played in a lot of decks. So you can see it at a crash right around here in October, and then it's just, kept coming up. We're seeing most recent sale $20. This is an old card. It's hard to find. It's, you got limited copies. It's got a bit of copies on the market, but limited still. And then, in a couple sales, it could be up at $30. As well as you look at the regular super is $10 to $15. So it's just kind of funny that that this is showing, and that's lightly played too. So it's just interesting data that's showing. But yeah, Chimeramon, great card. It's played, like I said, you got Duhalamon, you got so much stuff that's getting played in. Moving on, we have Yugo, Kamashiro, alternate art. This is a card people are playing in Hudie, so we've actually seen this kind of coming up here too slowly. $20 card. It was like 10 at release of Cyber Eden, so it's definitely started to see its value for people who play different decks like Hudie. It's, again, we're seeing a lot of stuff that Hudie is affecting price wise. Another copy or another example of that is Venusmon. Venusmon is expensive on its own, but a lot of people are playing this in Hudie. You can see the lowest copy is a lightly played foil for $45. Market price is around $17, but the most recent sale has it up. So you can see it's you can get a cheaper version of this because this is just the alt. But even then, you're looking at the regular super, $10. Any of the regionals participants or the participants 16, and everything's more expensive than that. In the premium heroine set version is about 10 listings starting at 29. Market price is 16, but most recent sale on that one is $30. So we're just seeing huge increases to Venusmon. And we should, we got the Tamer's Evolution, Rise of Digimon box. That could be something that comes up soon as well. We'll see if that'll bring the price down. There's a couple cards that we're looking at here that are going to be part of that set. We're hoping that'll bring the price down, but we'll actually wait. They're gold versions of the cards, and the box is going to be probably like $200 to $400. So we'll see if it actually brings the price down, especially since there's only one of each card, and you have to buy 4 to get a play set. And then, of course, we'll take a look at Mirais. Still crazy that this card is up at $80 to $90, being a rare in the set. This is the alt, obviously, but still rare. Not even a secret. This Mirai, which is honestly 7 listings starting at $145. I did not pay anywhere near that for mine. So that's, I'm so glad I keep things. And Hexablow, another card that's going to be in the Rise of Digimon thing. We're not seeing much play of this card anymore, but I mean, you look at it and it's doing all right market price. Most recent sale $35. It's still really expensive. And even though there's a lot of copies, the price just doesn't come down. It doesn't come down below 30. And I mean, same to go with the Super. The Super is always staying at 25. So this card is just like one of the most consistent cards, and again, making the EX7 set a decent purchase. With the new Liberator comic, we're looking at Medusamon stuff. Medusamon's not that expensive. You know, you got your $50.95 at its most recent sale. It's actually gone down. But the one you don't really worry with the Liberator decks about the Mega, it's because there's always like a better Mega or like a better, bigger card behind, you know, every Liberator article, it seems. But you worry about the rookie, the Searcher rookie that searches you 2 cards, because you can usually get like a reptile, or like you get like one of the traits and a Liberator card, and they're all Liberator cards, so you always get like 2 hits off of it, including that it can basically add a tamer, but it can choose not to add a tamer. So these ones are super good, and as you can see there, like it's been going up. You can see there's hype. Most recent sale, $19. This could easily, you know, with the next article where we get the level 7, you could easily see this go up to $25-30 if you follow the history of things like Sangomon and Ghostmon and other cards like that. So keep your eyes out for this. If you're a Elizamon, you know, Dragonkin deck enthusiast, this could be going up. So you might want to get your copies now. It's still a decent price because I think the hype always pushes these rookies up. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Same way we got Galacticmon. You know, you can see it. Galacticmon's not doing that much. I don't know if we're going to get any new Galacticmon cards, if we're going to see him play new stuff when we see him make his comeback in the next set and kind of push Owen, you know, into using his level 7 basically. So I don't know if we're going to see any new Galacticmon cards. We eventually will probably get new stuff for it. So it's just kind of interesting to see, like, okay, where are we with this deck? It's really cheap right now. If you're interested in Galacticmon, it's definitely very affordable. And then, of course, again, we're looking at Venmon. And we haven't had any hype for the deck. So you can see this is where you get, you know, these rookies are... and this is not a searcher either. Because the original Venmon was a searcher. So it's actually funny, we never got a actual Venmon Liberator searcher like we did for every other deck. So I don't see this being as, even if it does have a price hike, I don't see it going as high. And especially $6 most recent sale. It's very, very affordable to buy this deck right now. Lastly, Medieval Gallantmon. This made a showing in the Liberator webcomic. So I thought, let's take a look at this. This is another card that we're going to get in the Rise of Digimon. This card just doesn't go down. Like, most recent sale, $100. It's, you know, I don't even see people playing this as much in a lot of top decks. Although I did have to deal with it a lot at the tournament this past weekend. So that was kind of annoyed the crap out of me. It's good against so many decks, and it puts a lot of pressure on the board. And you, honestly, half the time your opponent putting you to like 7 with this card on board, it's just unfortunate, and it doesn't. You can't really do much. So that's, yeah. It's a good card, and it's expensive. And I don't know if that's going to change when we get the Rise of Digimon box. I was thinking that was the case. But like, these cards seem to be going up and up and up. The ones we were hoping would go down when this comes out. You look at the regular, and it's just, you know, $10-15 behind. So that's, you know, where we are for this card right now. Seems like it's just an expensive card, and as long as it's really good in the meta, as long as it hasn't been power creeped, I don't think we're going to see a lot of price drops. It's like Rune Mode. Rune Mode's always, you know, good. So that's what we have for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope there was a lot of good selection for you. If there's cards you want to see in the market analysis, if there's things that I've forgotten, always let me know, and we'll try to add them in as we do every Friday. But hope you guys join us next week again for another market analysis, and, you know, join us for other content. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming out. Looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next video. And as always, have a wonderful day. That is all for now, folks.